President Trump's inconceivable insistence that we need federal troops in Portland does not address the real concerns in our communities. We do not need or want federal troops in Oregon stoking fear, creating conflict.
This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here.
Well, good evening. Breaking news right here on KGW with what you might call a unified voice this afternoon along the Portland waterfront following President Donald Trump's latest directive. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Early this morning, the president announcing over social media he is authorizing the federal government to send, quote, all necessary troops to Portland. In the post, which seemed to take Pentagon officials by surprise, he called the Rose City, quote, war ravaged, and says troops are needed to protect the city, particularly at ICE facilities he says are under attack by Antifa. We have live team coverage this evening as we hear from Portlanders and our leaders as they respond to the president's new order. Let us begin with Corey Johnson. Corey, you've been hearing from Oregon leaders at all levels. What are they saying?
That's right, David. Governor Tina Kotek says she had a call with the president this morning, this after receiving a request or an invite rather for authorization to send troops here to the city. Now, the governor says that she has not responded to that request. She says right now she's working to be clear with the federal government and Oregonians about what's actually happening here in Portland.
We do not need or want federal troops in Oregon stoking fear, creating conflict.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek, alongside Portland Mayor Keith Wilson, held a special press conference Saturday afternoon in response to the Trump administration's push to send military troops to Portland. The president taking to Truth Social Saturday morning, saying he's sending the National Guard to what he calls war-ravaged Portland, an effort to protect ICE facilities against domestic terrorists.
When you go out to Portland and you see what's happening in Portland, this is like nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez-DeRemer thanking the president for the announcement on X, saying in part, I've seen firsthand how lawlessness has transformed Portland from a beautiful place to live to a crime-ridden war zone. But other state and local leaders are calling it unnecessary. Kotek telling the public she had a call with the president Saturday morning and explained there was no need for guardsmen. And she, along with Mayor Wilson, have not requested governor assistance.
And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city.
Imagine if the federal government sent hundreds of engineers or teachers or outreach workers to Portland instead of a short, expensive, and fruitless show of force.
Oregon Secretary of State Tobias Reed, Attorney General Dan Rayfield, and Senator Jeff Merkley urging Portlanders to not take the bait. So far, the president has deployed troops to Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and most recently, Memphis. Each time the administration's use of National Guardsmen facing scrutiny and questions on whether it violates constitutional rights. Now, right now, it's still unclear exactly when the president would send troops here to Portland. Governor Tina Kotek during that conference earlier today saying that during the call with President Trump, she disagreed with his desire to send troops here. However, she said that call ended with him saying that they will continue their discussions. David?
Well, and given the Pentagon is saying very little when it comes to specifics, maybe, just maybe, that is a sign he is reconsidering. Corey, before we let you go, I understand we heard from House Republican leader Christine Drazan this afternoon. What is she saying about all of this?
Well, David, Drazan called out Governor Kotek as well as Mayor Wilson, saying that their assertion that everything is fine here in Portland is actually tone deaf. Now, Drazan says the city definitely needs some order right now.
All right, pointing specifically to that ICE facility again. Corey Johnson at City Hall. Thank you, Corey.